Hey everybody, Anthony here, just sitting around. Felt like talking, so I hope you guys feel like listening. My Knicks lost yesterday, god damn it, and the Rangers lost both days, god damn. And not really much to root for in New York, and I don't really give a damn about the Super Bowl this year because Ray Rice and Joe Flacco and Ray Lewis and all that. That's pretty cool, but it's not the Giants, so I don't really care. But at least the Patriots aren't in. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Yeah, so the Knicks lost. There was a big hoopla about J.R. Smith's tweet to Chris Humphries about the Garden being. Chris Humphries was like, "Oh, the Garden's really quiet," and then J.R. Smith basically said that it wasn't quiet when Kanye West tore it up last month at the 2012 the 12-12-12 concert, which is when he wore a skirt on stage. I don't know if you know that, but anyway, it was basically just taking a shot at, him and Kim Kardashian and all that garbage. But anyways, I'm just here to talk. Just here to talk. Just hang out. So I'm going to talk to you about something I recently saw. I recently went to go see the new Arnold Schwarzenegger movie called Last Stand. It was alright. It wasn't the best movie I've ever seen in my life, but it was good enough. I mean, it's Arnold, so you're gonna get cheesy ass stupid lines like "You blew my cover" and all that crap. But it was very good. It was fun. It was a fun movie. If you want to see somebody, screw it. I'm gonna ruin it because not a lot of people were really gonna go see it. But what happens is during the movie, some one of the deputies that Arnold works with, he doesn't really. I mean, here I'll put it to you this way: it's an Arnold movie, so you don't really like any of the other characters. They're just there, You only care about Arnold. You don't give a damn about anybody else, right? So the other people that Arnold works with are people that you really don't care about. And since the movie's only an hour and 30 minutes, you're not really going to become connected to these characters because, who cares? You just want to see somebody get the head shot off. So, anyway, the deputies that he works with in his small town that's located right next to the border has to fend off what the hell? What am I talking about? Oh, there's a fugitive going towards the Mexican border because he escaped. Don't know how he planned that. I don't know because he was in jail, but whatever. It's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. You're not really gonna get a lot of backstory here. But anyway, so they had to stop these people from crossing the Mexican border and to go to freedom, basically. So the last thing that is there from USA to Mexico is a town that Arnold is a sheriff of. So his whole police squad, I guess you could say, which is Luis Guzman, who is a fat dude who you've probably seen in tons of movies, and two other actors and actresses that I've never met, I've never seen in any of the movies ever in my life. So, that's what the guy has to go through to, whatever. So, the fugitives, group of bad guys, they all are making this bridge there's like a canyon. I don't know how to describe this. There's a canyon that is like USA, Canyon, Mexico, right? So they have to make a board. They have to make a border. They have to make a bridge so the guy can drive his fast as hell car over the bridge, right? Apparently, it's some kind of souped up racing car. It's like this black jet, basically, right? Faster than a helicopter, faster than all that stuff, right? So he has to go over the bridge to get to freedom. So what happens is there's these two truck drivers that come in. I'm saying all this. I'm doing quotations as I'm saying a truck driver. They all come into the town and then they set up shop at a farm, a local farm, where this poor old guy, you see him in the movie for 2 seconds. He threatens to kill somebody, and then he gets a sniper bullet in his head. Okay? So, and his farm is right near the canyon. Like it's like the canyon is this dude's backyard. Okay, so they have to go on the bridge to go to Mexico. So one night, the deputies they go to the old guy's house. Excuse me, the farmer. Excuse me, the farmer, and he's dead, right? So they call up Arnold and Luis Guzman, right? So they both go there, and then the two deputies that were originally there, that I don't even know their names because it's an Arnold movie, who cares, right? So they leave. They just go, okay, well, they find these tire tracks or whatever. So they're like, okay, let's go follow it. So they follow it, and then there's like a huge gang of this fugitives guys, goons, as people would say. So they're all building this bridge at night. So one of the deputy guys figures it would be a good idea to try and stop them. They all have like machine guns out the ass, and like these deputies have like a little pistol, you know. So he decides to shoot at one of them, or something like that, I think. And when he shoots, you know, a big firefight ensues, and the guy dies, right? So long story short, Arnold comes and saves the day, of course, right? And then the whole movie from that point on is Arnold's like, this one's for Jesse, or whatever the hell his name was. I don't even remember, honestly. So they all band together, and then they form a blockade of cars and all this crap to stop the fugitive guy, because he will not take this town without a fight, if you've seen the trailer. So anyway, they make a blockade, and then Johnny Knoxville is this dude who owns this weapons museum, and he has like an assload of weapons, all right? Because you'd figure, you know, Johnny Knoxville, jackass, he knows how to operate a weapon, you know what I'm saying? So Johnny Knoxville gives them all these weapons, right? So there's like Arnold has like a group of deputies that have to make sure the fugitive doesn't come across. So the gang of all the dudes that shot at Arnold's people now have a bigger gang filled with dudes in army gear with like assault rifles and machine guns out the ass. All right? So there's this one part where Luis Guzman is all by himself. He's like right at the front line, and Arnold is back somewhere else, right? So, and you don't find out what he's doing until it happens. So Luis Guzman, he starts shooting the guys, which was a stupid-ass decision. It's one dude against 7 people with machine guns and assault rifles, so, you know. It's like bringing a chicken to a KFC. I'm not even going to finish that joke. It's terrible. So, anyway, Luis Guzman starts shooting at these dudes. He immediately regrets the decision, right? So, then, all of a sudden, there's this school bus that comes up, and it does this spin thing, where it does like, it spins in a circle, and then the ass end of the bus is facing the bad guys, right? The back door opens. Arnold comes, like, there's like a freaking turret on the back of there's a turret gun on the back of the bus, and Arnold and Johnny Knoxville are shooting these people, right? So the first guy who gets it, I felt bad for, because it's this big-ass buff dude holding an assault rifle, shooting at Johnny Knoxville and Arnold, and he's maybe like 10 feet away from these people. And Arnold shoots him, like, in the nuts area. And then, like, the guy's head and the whole body, like, moves down to go, like, ah, like that. So Arnold shoots down at his nuts and then comes up with the turret, and he cuts his whole body in half with the turret. And I was like, yes, this is exactly what you expect from an Arnold movie, because it's freaking retarded, you know? It doesn't make any sense. So, anyway, they start shooting, you know, the fire, you know, the big fire battle goes on, right? So then, while that's going on, one of these paramilitary dudes is going through a building owned by this old lady who, for some ungodly reason, is sitting on a rocking chair in the middle of her store while this whole thing is going on. So she's sitting in this place, right? The guy doesn't see her, so he walks to the front window, and Arnold is on the other side of the window, right? So he goes to try to kill Arnold, and then the old lady gets up, and she's got a shotgun, which we didn't even know about, right? So she shoots that guy, and he goes flying out the window, and then Arnold's like, and he turns around like, oh my god, thank you, you saved me. And then she's like, no problem, Arnold. She actually said, no problem, Sheriff. Go kick his ass, Sheriff. Like that, right? So then Arnold does this thing where he dives through a door, which you've seen in the trailer, and then the guy goes, how you doing, Sheriff? And he goes, old, like that. Old. So that happens, right? And I'm doing a really, really bad depiction of this, but I mean, like, you know, it's what you get. You know, if you've seen an Arnold movie, it's what you get. You know, you get what you pay for. So, so then Arnold gets this car that this guy, he had this red Chevrolet sports car, right? And he parked it in a fire zone in the beginning of the movie. I should have explained this in the beginning. It was completely pointless. But so, and oh, by the way, this is all on Arnold's day off. Just letting you know, all on his day off. He's like, you fucked up my day off. You did it. You screwed it up. You did it. Right? So, even though it's weird because he says it's his day off, but one scene takes place at night. So it's like, would that be 2 days off? I don't know. Anyway, so the guy's red Chevrolet is sitting there, and then Arnold goes, I got an idea. I'm going to take this car and chase him because it is a race car, and he has a race car, so we are going to go, you go. So he chases after him, right? And they're riding through a cornfield or some crap, and then they're driving so fast that obviously they're in a cornfield, so all the corn stacks of, what the hell are they called? The corn stacks are hitting the car and, like, falling, and they're making, like, a boom, boom, boom noise, like, right? So, because it's corn hitting the windshield, it's like boom, 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 right? So they keep driving, and then all of a sudden, Arnold can't find the guy because he stopped the car, right? So Arnold stops his car, and they're both sitting in the middle of a cornfield, but the camera pans up into the air above them, and then you can see that Arnold and the fugitive guy are right next to each other, right? So, and then Arnold hears his car, because the guy goes, oh, I don't even hear his car, so he's obviously gone, right? Because it's a cornfield, he's on the other side of the earth right now. So then that guy starts driving, and then Arnold goes, there he is, and then he chases after him. He doesn't really say that, but he does it. And then, so they start driving, right? And then they get out of the cornfield, and it's kind of like a little farm area, and there's this tractor, this oddly parked tractor, and then Arnold's car drives right into it, and it takes off like the whole hood of the car. So the guy's like, okay, he's dead, right? So the guy goes to the bridge, and he starts to walk across, but he stops because Arnold is on the bridge. It's a perfect twist. Everybody thought he was dead. I'm just joking. Nobody thought he was dead. But so then they start fighting on the on this bridge thing, right? And yeah, and that was pretty much it. Then Arnold saves the day and blah blah blah. So the only reason why I'm telling you this is because, and my story is very vague because I was paying attention, but there was this douchebag asshole that was sitting near us. There was probably like 15 people in the movie theater, and I brought 2 friends, so we were like half of that, not even half, a quarter. I wasn't really good at math. But so this guy's sitting on the other side of the movie theater. He's got his music playing, and it's like Spanish ass music. Like, it's not even good music. It's like Spanish reggaeton crap, right? So, and then he starts talking, and he's not even talking. Like, he's not like, oh my God, what's up? How you doing? You're like whispering. He's literally talking the way I'm talking right now in a goddamn movie theater, right? So my friend Luca looks over to me. He goes, is this guy serious? And I'm like, let it go, right? So my other friend, Phil, who's going into the Marines, he's a jacked mofo, right? He looks at me, and he looks at both of us and goes, so is this guy going to shut up? Now, we didn't tell this guy to shut up or anything, even though I was really close to being like, yo, can you shut up? But I did not. But we were very, very close. Because you know what it was? It's not like we were sitting through The Dark Knight Rises or like The Hobbit or something, It's the Last Stand, We're not sitting through, Jesus Christ Superstar over here. Jesus Christ Superstar. That was a terrible movie. Anyway, So, and then not after that, actually before that, I saw the movie Gangster Squad, which was not a bad movie. It's just a movie that you don't really have to go see. I mean, it's good for what it is, but it when you watch it, you think that Zack Snyder made it, and Zack Snyder is a guy who makes a lot of movies. He's making the new Superman movie. He makes all of his movies with a lot, and I mean a lot, of slow motion. And this movie is like, if somebody walks into a room with some music playing in the background, bam, slow motion. So everything in the movie is slow motion. Gangster Squad is not as good as Last Stand. It was just eh. Now, I wanted to see Haunted House. I don't know how that was, but I heard it was good. For stupid people who like stupid funny movies. But Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 8%, so it's obviously got to be good if Rotten Tomato gives it an 8%. But I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just spouting off nonsense right now. So I was what the hell am I to talk about now? Jesus, I'm burping a lot. So yeah, I was watching. It's funny. You watch these funny Arnold movies, like Total Recall and all that stuff, and they're all classics. And then when you watch Last Stand, he doesn't have any really funny lines in it. He doesn't have any of those classic one-liners where it's like, there is no bathroom, or like put that cookie down. Like, there's none of that. There's fun stuff, but it's not. You're not gonna leave there having new Arnold quotes. You're just gonna use the same ones they used back in the day. You blew my cover. Like that kind of crap. But not the same day. I'm lying. But 2 days after, they had Terminator 2 on TNT, which is like one of his best movies. And that just, it made it worthwhile for me. It was like I came full circle. Last Stand, Total Recall, Terminator 1 and 2. Oh, so speaking of many movies, speaking of a circle of movies, on Cinemax they've been showing, besides a lot of porn, they've been showing a lot of Rocky movies. Like they show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in like a week, right? And then by the weekend, they're like, all right, we're going to throw all of them at you at one time, right? So it'd be like 12 to 1:30, Rocky 1. Then 1:30, you know what I'm saying? All of them, right? So, I watch all of them. I love the first one. Love the second one. Third one is eh. Fourth one is badass because it's like he's fighting for America, right? And and he's fighting for America against the guy he puts in Expendables afterwards. But then Rocky 5, which is obviously nobody's favorite. But, see, like for me with Rocky, it goes Rocky 1, 2, 4, 3, and then 5. Just because, you had to put 5 in there somewhere. No, actually, I'm lying. I'm going to put 6 over that. I don't know if you can call Rocky Balboa 6, but I'm going to do it anyways. Anyway, I wanted to go see Broken City too, but Broken City was apparently asshole, so I'm not going to go see that. I sound like I'm coming down with a cold. It might be because the weather is like 19 degrees below death outside. Even though I'm sitting right now with a hoodie on, with 2 shirts and sweatpants on, and nice socks, But anyway, I don't even know what to talk about. So I was watching a commercial the other day of this little girl. She was sitting on a tuffet eating Miss Muffet or whatever the hell. She was just hanging out. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I never saw a commercial about a girl. I guess should I end it now? I think I should end it now. I don't know if you guys are into wrestling. I mean, you probably aren't, but it's heating up a little bit. You got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson here to support what's it called? Promote. He's here to promote some of his movies with Mark Wahlberg and G.I. Joe coming out soon to a theater near you. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun year. So does anybody care about the Super Bowl? I mean, I know there's a lot of Giants fans around here, so I know a lot of us don't care. But hey, we could be the Jets. You know what I'm saying? You know what's funny though? A lot of people. I'm gonna get to that point. A lot of people are talking about how the Giants season was a letdown. If you look at our season last year and our season this year, our records are the same. Idiots. Our records are the same, but except last year we won a Super Bowl ring, so it's like, we suck now. How do we suck? We have the same record. We have the same freaking team. Nobody came. We have nobody new except for David Wilson and like Andre Brown. I'm lying. We obviously have more people, but I'm just saying. Speaking of letdowns, now I'm going to talk about the Rangers. Diehard Rangers fan, and the frickin' Rangers are giving me nothing to root about. I loved last year's team, like to death, because when they won the Stanley Cup, when they won the Stanley's Cup in '92, I believe it was. I was a baby. I wasn't that. That was when I was born. Okay, so hop off my back. All right, hop off my nuts, if you will. That was my dad's team because he was a Rangers fan and he was around to see those games, and I honestly felt like last year's team was my team. They just hustled every time, hitting people in the face, scoring goals, assists. Just blocking shots like a mother, right? And now it's like, what are we doing? And you know what it is? I'm not going to use the excuse of, we got a tough schedule. We did, but we also had like 9 months of sitting around doing absolutely nothing. And all those guys wanted to play so much hockey, Rick Nash looks great. Ryan Callahan is Ryan Callahan. He's awesome. Brad Richards, Bob Richards looks great. Everybody looks great, but it's like Henrik Lundqvist seems to not be Henrik Lundqvist right now, But I will say this. I do love my Rangers still, and last year we started off 0-3, so who knows? We could lose again this week. Who knows? Who knows? As long as we beat the Flyers every time we play them this year, I'll be perfectly happy because I hate Philly teams. I actually hate Pennsylvania teams, to be completely honest with you. I don't like any teams from Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh's Pittsburgh Steelers are ass, Ben Roethlisberger rapes people, right? Or whatever the hell he did. The Eagles are just, the Eagles. What can you say, The Flyers are balls. The Penguins are really, really good, and I hate them because of how good they are. The Penguins are just awesome because, they have Geno Malkin and James Neal and, Pascal Dupuis, as I call him. Sidney Crosby. Wow, I lost my voice there. Sidney. And Marc-Andre Fleury. And, they're so good, it makes me hate them, and it disgusts me to the point of, like, I want to, let's kill these guys. But it's not going to happen, probably. Who else do I hate from Pennsylvania? Oh, I hate the 76ers, even though, they're like the Nets, You hate them because they suck, But Drew Holiday is awesome. I'll say that. Drew Holiday is awesome. What else? Who else in Philly just annoys me? The only good thing about Philly and Pennsylvania in general, besides the fact that it basically smells like poop, is, the Croc Rock is pretty awesome. I heard a lot of their places where they have concerts is pretty cool. But as far as the sports, they're all assholes. But I will say this. They give us awesome Philly cheesesteaks, and they also give us It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is probably one of the greatest shows ever. But that's just me, because I'm an idiot and I love stupid comedy like that. But it's also smart in the same way. Smartly stupid. But yeah, that's the only good things that Philly gives us, Unless they give us, like, a hot chick. Like a hot actress, if she's from Philly. I'm not even going to go into baseball, because I'm a San Francisco Giants fan and we won. So I don't really care. But, like the Mets, I'm a Mets fan too, and the Mets are just eh. The Mets are just eh. Every year we're like, oh, we're gonna be all right, and then we're all right until it counts. But the Knicks, man, I'm telling you, the Knicks, I've said this year are my team. Again, when I was a little baby, in the years of Patrick Ewing, John Starks, Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, Ron Hopper, not Dennis. What the hell am I talking about? Doc Rivers when he was on the team. That was a little later. But when they had their finals run, because they didn't win. It was awesome. My dad watched it, and it was his team again. Just like the Rangers, it was two teams in one arena, Madison Square Garden, which is the greatest place ever. It's like Disneyland for sports and concerts and all that good jazz. But it was when two sports teams were so great in one city, and the whole city was just exploding, And it has not been like that in a very, very long time because, Isaiah Thomas, when he came in like 2000, he made the team pretty much ass and gave every other team good players like Nate Robinson and Jamal Crawford. Well, actually, I'm not even going to say Nate Robinson. I'm going to say two guys that are kicking ass right now. Jamal Crawford and David Lee, okay? We both had, and Zach Randolph. We had all three of those dudes, and Isaiah goes, all right, see you later. Granted, they weren't really that good for us. I mean, David Lee was good, Jamal Crawford was good, but Zebo was a little eh. He was not Zebo then. He was just Zach Randolph. He was just big. But now, they're all awesome. They all could be all-stars. And the Knicks are just, they're awesome now. I mean, last year, they were a little eh. I don't really count last year because of the lockout, and it was kind of like a little hangover-ish. First year when we got Carmelo, I obviously loved that we got Carmelo because Carmelo's one of my favorite players, but I also loved the team that we had before we had Carmelo because of the fact that I felt like we played better basketball, which we play right now. Now, this Knicks team emulates last year's Rangers team. Hustle, dive, do what you got to do to win. Look at J.R. Smith's face. He got like 9 cuts on his head. Jason Kidd's got like 9 teeth in his head and his goddamn scalp. Carmelo complains about every call. Tyson Chandler gets every big man's dick shoved up his ass every night when he's going for a rebound. Amari's coming along, and Shumpert's got a stupid-ass haircut. I love him, but he has got a dumb-ass haircut. It's awesome, but he looks like somebody from Fat Albert, and that's okay. That's okay. But, yeah. We're playing great. If you would have told me a few years ago that we would be in first place in the Atlantic Division and be two, maybe maybe one, maybe. I'm going to give you a range. I think we're 1 game back or a half a game back or 2 games back. It's one of those. Hold on. Let me go check my app here. No, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, we're in the half game back or 2 games back of first place in the Eastern Conference behind the Miami Heat, who we have beat twice. So I don't know what you want me to do, man. I don't know what you want the Knicks to do. But it's funny, though, because, all the Brooklyn Nets fans come out of well, they don't really come out of nowhere. They're awesome, But the one thing I will say is this. I went to a lot of Nets games last year, and they were terrible, okay? It's the same team, for Christ's sake. Except you had Joe Johnson, Andre Blatch, Jerry Stackhouse, Reggie Evans, all that garbage, Other teams' garbage, I should say. Brooke Lopez is a poor man's Amari Stoudemire. Chris Humphries is Kim Kardashian to me. Not a basketball player. But you have Darren Williams and Joe Johnson. So when you have Darren Williams and Joe Johnson and Gerald Wallace, who I forgot about, Gerald Wallace, you have a good nucleus of people. And I'm not going to lie to you. I am a diehard Knicks fan, but when there's days when there's nothing on TV and there's a Nets game, I'm going to watch it. Because I love Darren Williams. I love how he plays. He's one of my favorite players. And I wish he was a Knick. But the whole thing that is funny about it, was when I used to go to these Knicks games at Prudential Center, I would buy tickets to go see other teams. Like I went to go see the Bulls play so I could see Derrick Rose, and Derrick Rose ended up getting hurt that game. He hurt his back, and he hurt his back in like the first quarter, and the Bulls were up by so much against the Nets, it didn't even matter that he was gone. And but anyway, then I saw them play the Clippers because I wanted to see, Showtime. You got Blake Griffin, Chris Paul. What the hell? Why not? They come to town. Why not? Give it a shot. Put on my Blake Griffin jersey. Nobody's gonna talk mess to me. If you're a Nets fan, you're an idiot. Well, back in those days. But now it's funny. You go to Brooklyn of all places, and then you play good basketball. I don't know. It's the same team to me. But hey, I have another question. Why? It seems like all Asian people are Nets fans. Why is this? And I'll answer you. Why? A few years ago, they signed a guy named Yi Lin, right? He was he's not good, He's kind of like Jeremy Lin before, the whole Linsanity garbage, right? Which I hated to the max. Because I worked at Model Sporting Goods, and we sold all that Linsanity crap, and I saw hundreds of people blow hundreds of dollars on some guy who didn't even deserve it, and now he has a friggin' Chevrolet commercial or some crap, so what am I even talking about, right? James Harden's the Houston Rockets, that's all I gotta say. James Harden's great, one of my favorite players. Jeremy Lin, suck it, right? So, second place. First place in the Atlantic Division, second place in the Eastern Conference. Go suck it with your Houston Rockets, all right? Now, what the hell was I talking about? Oh, the Nets. No, wait, was I talking about the Nets? I don't even know. Anyway, yes. So, Yi Lin, right, he signs with the Nets, right? So, now when I went to a Nets game last year, they used to have this corner behind one of the hoops, behind where the away team sits. There's that side of the hoop. There was all the way up at the top where I sat, right? And there was one section just filled with all of the Asian people, which I don't have a problem with, obviously, but because of him coming, the Nets got their Asian market and all that stuff, right? So even though he was gone, this guy Yi Lin hasn't been on the Nets since they got him, which was a few years ago, right? But they stuck with the team. So, and they had a huge Asian following in New Jersey, and I live in New Jersey, obviously, and when I went to Union High School, hundreds of people were their fans, right? And I just didn't get it. I still don't get it. I don't understand. But now you have something to cheer about. I think I should wrap this up. It's been 32 minutes. Holy crap! I didn't think I was going to talk this much. You know what it is? I'd sit at home alone all day, mostly. And I don't really have anybody to talk to except for the people that I play like Call of Duty with and whatever. But I don't really have anybody to talk to, so I just figured I'd talk to you guys. Even though you can't talk back, I'll talk to you. Talk to you. Anyway, I saw this movie, right? I didn't see it, but I saw a picture and a video, a funny video, of somebody reviewing a movie called Steel. Now, this movie called Steel has Shaq playing... I can't even say it. Playing a superhero, right? There's a comic book superhero made by DC called Steel. DC, who brought you Superman, Green Lantern, Batman, all that good stuff, right? So they make this comic called Steel, and they figure, hey, let's get Shaq to be Steel, right? So you have like a 9-foot superhero who can't read a line, can't hit a free throw where it's life, and is carrying around a hammer. And, it's funny. This guy didn't point it out in the review, but I would have. And I'm going to do it right now. What Shaq did, apparently, he was a cop, right? And then he turned into the superhero Steel. I don't know how, but it just happened, right? So, when you figure... Excuse me. You figure... Sorry, I had chili. A few hours ago, so I'm a little burpy. You figure when the biggest police guy that's on the force Just like when the 9-foot guy on the police force leaves, or like he just so happens to go missing, you figure, wow, where did this guy go? And then you see a guy who's dressed up as a superhero who's 9 feet tall. Then you're like, wow, he looks a lot like Shaq. Huh. But nobody made that connection, of course, because, it was a crappy superhero movie. I don't even know who the villain was. I don't know. I really don't care. But, fun times. Fun times. So anyway, NBA All-Star Weekend is coming up. Everybody's going to watch that. Then you got wrestling fans with the Royal Rumble. Which you got CM Punk, the WWE champion, the reigning defending WWE champion, the best in the world, CM Punk, against the Rumble, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment today, The Rock. And I love The Rock, I love The Rock. Everybody loves The Rock. How do you not love The Rock? It's going to be a good one. Check that out. What the hell else am I talking about? But hey, hockey fans, we got hockey. Who's going to complain, Even I said that. This one Devils fan was like, "Oh God, you're complaining." Ugh. Shut up. We're all batting on the same team, okay? You're a Devils fan. I'm a Ranger fan. Everybody else is a fan of hockey, the sport. So we all band together and we go, "Hey, let's end this lockout, right?" I want to fork over hundreds of dollars of bills, millions of dollars, to a franchise that I know in 10 years will go into another lockout anyway. I digress. I'm not really digressing. I'm just going to be an asshole. My team gets a lot of money because we're in a big market. Like the Devils, they make money. Boston's Bruins, they make money. The good teams make money, and the crap teams don't make nothing. It's just how it goes. Even the Nets made money, people. How do you think they got Darren Williams and Joe Johnson? Making that green. Millions of dollars. Anyway, so we all banded together and we said, "Hey, let's stop this lockout. This is BS. Let's stop it," right? And this girl's like, "Oh," because I posted a picture. There was a picture. I posted a picture on Instagram of my boy, Ryan Callahan. No, actually, it was not Ryan Callahan. I'm lying. I'm lying right now. It was Rick Nash. He was holding up a sign that had Rangers colors on it that said 3 as a countdown of there is 3 more days till hockey, right? This was last week. So the girl, who is a Devils fan, happens to go, "Hey," I can say this because I know she's not going to listen, She's one of those people. She's one of those friends who's just a casual, "Hey, how you doing?" friend, She ain't going to listen to this. She don't care. So I can say it. I'm okay. She goes, she says something like, even though you're a Rangers fan, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "Hey," this is what I said. I was like, "Hey, honestly, it doesn't matter what colors you're wearing, because when it comes lockout time, we're all batting on the same squad. We're all suiting up. We're all on each line for hockey. We got 100 million lines on this hockey team, and I'm a part of one of them with you. So suck it up, because we're getting this team back." She's a Devils fan. I'm a Ranger fan. I was like, "All right, see you in the playoffs, because that's where we'll be with you." Man, I'm burping like a mother. So, you ever hear people do that when they drink? And they're just sitting there drinking because, they're like, "Oh, I'm thirsty." And, like they just grab their drink and they go, It's like, what the hell, asshole? I remember once when I used to play baseball, Little League, when I was so good, I had no batting average in Little League. You would walk up to the plate and they'd be like, "Now batting," and then they say your batting average. I had none because I sucked in Little League, as every little kid did. In my backyard with wiffle ball, man, I was Jose Canseco. I was bombing this. I was bombing him. I was hitting him 3 houses down. I get on the actual baseball field with an aluminum bat, which I never used when I was a little kid. Too heavy, too long. That's what she said. And I swing it, and I'm missing everything, right? But since I was a big kid for my age, since I was very tall, they would put me up against the tallest people on their team. So I'd be standing I'd be standing on the on deck circle waiting to come up, and there's this little kid who's like 4 foot tall, and I'm like, I'm gonna wreck this kid, right? I'm gonna get my first hit of the season. Then I go to step up, manager comes out, goes, hey, we're gonna make a pitching change, right? So I'll never forget it. I was on the Mets, which my dad loved because my dad was a huge Mets fan, is a huge Mets fan. So he's like, yo, you're playing for the Mets, man. Right? Because I was apparently connected somehow to the actual Mets franchise. But, so every single time when I would go up, especially against this team, the Cleveland Indians, even though they were not the Cleveland Indians, they were just the Indians, they had a pitcher by the name of Rob Lazowski. Now, this guy, Rob Lazowski, is known around Union. He went to Union High School. He played Union football. And now he plays at Toledo, where he won a championship with the team a couple of times, right? Or maybe once. I don't know. So anyway, every single time when I would come up to bat, they would put this dude up there. And now this guy, for playing in Little League, this guy was 7 foot tall, massive mamma jamma, right? And he threw hard. And I'm saying hard, right? So I would get up there with no intention to swing and hit anything. So it would be like he would wind up to pitch, he'd throw it, and it would be already in the mitt, and I'm swinging. It would go, strike, and I'm swinging. Because I had no clue. And I was scared out of my mind. One day, he hit my jersey, right? He hit me in the back, and it hit my jersey, but my jersey wasn't really on because the wind was blowing it, and he hit the jersey, and he didn't hit my back, and I was so close to getting clobbered by a fastball thrown by a 7 foot monster. And I can say that because I love him. He's a friend of mine, and we're big friends. We're big bears, even though he's a bear and I'm not a bear. I'm just a twig. I'm just a tall twig. But man, I'll tell you, I've never almost crapped my pants more than when I was standing in the batter's box and a baseball was coming towards me and somehow went towards my back. I was just, I was literally crapping a dog. I'm telling you, it was massive. I'm just kidding. I did not poop my pants. I almost cried though. That was actually true. I almost cried. If he would have hit me, I would have cried. It would have hurt. But you know what's funny in Little League? You have to sell it. So like when I did get hit in the back of the jersey, I didn't know it, and then the umpire was like, "Oh yeah, you can go take first base." I'm like, "Oh okay, all right, cool, thanks for my permission, so I can actually get on base on this guy because I can't hit him, I can't hit his pitches. So thank you, thanks for the freebie." So on my way to the first base, I was like holding my back a little bit. I was like, God. Scratching it a little bit, even though he didn't even touch me, but it was fun. And then I stopped playing Little League because I was like, wow, I suck. I played 2 years and I sucked. You know how you suck in baseball when you get put in right field, okay? Because in right field, nobody gets anything hit in right field. In Little League, nothing. You can't even hit it out of the infield in Little League. Well, now you can, but back in that day, you couldn't because everybody was, high school dudes or looked like high school dudes. And then I stopped playing baseball for a little bit, and then I noticed that my dad was a little disappointed, because I played like ass. You know what I'm saying? I went up every single at bat for 2 years. Like I got my family's pride on my shoulders. I'm wearing the Mets colors. Let's do it. Even though it wasn't the Mets colors, it was just a black shirt with Mets across it, sponsored by Shearing Plow. I wore, I don't even remember what number I wore. And that's messed up because I have a picture hanging right near my because we take pride. I have a picture of myself in the Mets uniform right next to this computer here. And I can't see a number. I can only see the front. And I was pretty upset, But anyways, I went up to every at-bat with my family's pride on my shoulders, right? I'm like, I'm going to hit this ball so hard. and I couldn't even hit a hard foul ball. Nothing. And everybody thought I was going to be really, really good because I was, I was maybe, I don't know, maybe, I'd say I was in Burnett Middle School, so I'd say, I don't know. I was an age of middle school, so you just figure that out, whichever grade you want to throw me into. But I was tall, man. I was a big dude. I was like 5 foot something, high fives. I was close to 6. So I was the tallest kid, so everybody expected, I was taller than most of my coaches, than 2 of my coaches actually. And I just went up there every single time like, hey, I gotta hit this ball, man. I'm playing in the World Series right now, even though I wasn't. It was like every single game of the season. I was like, I'm hitting in the World Series, motherfucker. I'm doing it. I'm doing it real big right now. And then I'd get up and strike out, swinging or looking. That was the best. When you get struck out looking, whew, and I mean that sarcastically. It sucks. Even when you see like major leaguers do that, when you see like Alex Rodriguez come up and it's like strike three, like right down the plate, and he's staring at it, it sucks. It sucks. Because then you look at your family and you look at all the other people in the crowd and they're like, oh, he stinks. This guy stinks. How is he even on the team? I didn't even play with a contract, so nobody can be like, hey, you're not worth the $25 we're paying you. Because I paid to play for myself. And I'm not saying it was a waste of my money, because I learned a lot playing on those baseball teams. I learned how to not play baseball. And I don't mean that like I learned how to not play baseball. I learned how to play baseball the right way. So I come back a little later. I'm in high school, right? I'm a big dude now. And then I'm playing just playing baseball with my boys, right? Hanging out at Burnett, just playing with a bunch of friends. And they go, hey, dude, you should join Senior League Baseball with us, man. You can actually hit the ball. You can actually hit the ball now. And, you can throw, you can pitch, you can do whatever, So they're like, dude, you got an outfielder's arm. You can pitch, let's do it. Right? So I said, yeah, hell yeah. Well, actually, first I was like, do you think I'll get any time? Because when I played in Little League, I didn't get what we call time. Because I sucked. So, like, I would, like, ride the bench. Even in my – see, here's how you know you suck, right? Here's how you know you suck in Little League. When – You can only league. Apparently, every kid has to play 3 innings. Apparently, but some kids would play the whole game if you're good. So it would be like, since you only play 6 innings, I played 3 and somebody else played 3. So I always used to play the first 3 so I can get my suckage out of the way for the rest of the team to go out there and rape. You know what I'm saying? And so I would go up. Not first. I never batted first. I always batted last because I sucked. I always batted towards the end because I sucked. And I played right field, and I just ran out there, did my job, stood there, listened to my dad go, "Hey, bend them knees, get them knees down. You'll get it. They'll hit it towards you, and when you get it, you better throw it. You better throw it good, right?" And that never happened. But then I go to Tina League, and I'm like, yo, will I get any time, man? And he says, yeah, of course. It's Tina League, dude. If you could play, you get time. And he goes, yeah, I think you could play. I think you can do it. So I'm like, all right, I'm in. Where do I sign up? So I go to a practice, and it turns out my Tina League coach was a guy who was a coach for me when I played fall ball in Little League. And when I played fall ball, I still sucked, right? But he didn't remember because he's an older guy, right? So he didn't remember, but his son remembered me. So his son comes up to me, his name is CJ, and he's like, yo, dude, what's up? So I said, what's up? And then I'm like, you know what? I'm ready to play, dude. I'm ready to get this going. And I was raping. I was just owning motherfuckers, right? So they go, yo, let's see you pitch, dude. All right. I can't throw anything off speed, just letting you know. I cannot throw a curveball. I cannot throw a slider. I can't throw anything. I just throw cheddar right down the plate, right? Fastballs, piping them. Nothing off speed, no curveballs, nothing like that. So I get up and I used to pitch sidearm. They're like, nah, don't do that because you're going to ruin your arm, right? So I'm like, all right, cool, thank you. I didn't know that, So, I did know that, but, I saw Major League pitchers do it, and they didn't really get hurt doing it. So I said, hey, it looks pretty cool. And when I threw it sidearm, it seemed like when I threw it sidearm, it would go like super fast. But, when you throw it overhand or sidearm, it goes the same speed. So I did that, and they're like, man, you got it, man. You got some good stuff. And I was like, oh, all right, thanks. So first game of the year comes around, right? And I'm crapping my pants, right? We're going during warm-ups, right? We're facing the White Sox. I will never forget this game ever in my life. Expectations are high. I had a bunch of my best friends at the time playing on my team with me. I'm like, dude, we're going out there, and we're going to play our asses off, right? So I'm thinking I'm going to be in the outfield because I'm an outfield guy. I play the outfield. I'm good at playing outfield. I have an outfielder's arm, which is why I'm a pretty good pitcher. I can throw hard. That's why they like me because I'm long. So the coach approaches me and he says, hey, the pitcher can't pitch today, so you're going to be our starter for the first game of the season. And I'm like, okay. Now, mind you, I never pitched a game in my life at that point. I just pitched that in practice. So then it comes down to, all right, you're pitching, dude. So I go, oh, okay. Now, when I pitched, my grandma recently passed away, right? So, look at this is getting sentimental. But my grandma recently had passed away at that point. And I was a grandma's boy, total grandma's boy. And what I did was, on the mound before I went up, I would write my initials. I would write her initials in the sand. And what happened was, it was funny because every single time when we would have to go up to pitch or hit, or when the other team would go up to hit, you'd be in the dugout and you go out, right? So my whole team would go out. And I noticed every single time when I watch a Major League Baseball game, the pitcher usually is out. Well, I always thought he was out last because he's the cool guy. He's the badass. This dude's going to throw some cheddar right down your throat. You're intimidated by this guy, right? So it's funny because the Teener League crowd is really not, it's not an arena. It's not a Somerset Patriots game. It's like a little parking lot with your family and like your moms and dads of the family, right? Of the team, I mean. So they're all sitting there, and I'm coming out, right? And I pitched my ass off in that game, right? I struck out a bunch of people and all this stuff, and it was like I felt like I was on top of the world. And then I got a few hits, which I was like, yes, I can hit the ball. I knew I could hit the ball. Come on, let's get it. And then I realized somebody in the crowd I recognize, and it's not anybody from my family. It's the guy who coached me in Little League, the guy who always put me on the bench because I sucked, right? And then there's tons of girls from my high school there, and it got real. It got real, right? It got real. We were playing under the lights. It was a bang game. It was really, really close. And I got a single, right? I'm standing at first base. My friend Matt is up at the plate. Now, my friend Devin, his brother, who is also a really good baseball player, plays for the Union High School. And he was in center field. He did not play for the team, but they needed another player, so they picked him out and whatever. So he's in center field, and my friend Matt comes up. He's a big dude, played football. And he comes up and he hits one into center field, right? And it's going up, and it's up there for a long-ass time. And I can run fast, right? So I'm rounding second, and all of a sudden the crowd starts to cheer. And the third base coach, one of my coaches, is like, dude, you better get your ass home, right? So I don't even look at the ball. I just go. And then all of a sudden we win because I was the winning run. And what had happened was my friend Jonathan out in center field got blinded by one of the lights, I guess, and he missed the ball out in the outfield. It was nighttime, so the lights were on. and he missed the ball in the outfield, and it dropped. And he threw it back in, and his throw was late, and I got in, and we won. And then my dad told me a few days after that game, he was like, man, that erases everything from Little League that that you suffered through because you sucked. Because you sucked, boy. Because you were ass. But he didn't say that. He was like, you didn't play your best. I've seen you play better than that. But, he's a dad. That's what dads say. But then he goes, that's the best game I've ever seen you play. And I was like, all right, cool, thanks. And it was funny because a lot of my friends were on the team that we were facing, and my sister's ex-boyfriend at the time was the opposing pitcher on the other team. So I'm hitting off of him, and I'm striking his ass out every time he comes out. He would always smile at me when he's batting, right? So I'm smiling back at him like, hey, mother, you're looking for some trouble. If you're looking for some trouble, you just found the heat, right? I'm just talking like an idiot. I'm talking like an idiot. I didn't talk like that. But I was in the zone, man. I was in the zone. Because I had the long hair going. I looked like Tim Lincecum when I was up there. And that's what they call me. They call me Tim Lincecum every single time I pitched. But anyways, so I was up there. It's like we're taking a stroll down memory lane. But anyways, so I was doing that, and it was fun. It was a good time. Great time. Yeah, I don't even know what the hell to talk about anymore. I did not know I was going to bring up that story at all. I didn't know I was going to lead into that. I don't even know why I led into that. Oh, wait. There's another thing about that story, actually. My head coach from Little League, my main head coach, my Joe Torre. If you don't know who Joe Torre is, he's like the greatest Yankee coach ever, even though I'm not a Yankee fan. But he was our Joe Torre, right? He was a complete and total dick, right? Complete and total douchebag. And I found out why he was a douchebag. In his off time, because head coaching a Little League team and all those town leagues is all recreation. You don't get paid for it. It's not a job. It's not like you sit around your house and I'm like, yo, let's sign this motherfucker. You show up, you're like, yo, this is your team. Write your names on your book. You see what you got. And he was there, and then I found out after I left the Little League team that my head coach at that time was also the manager of the local Party City. Now, Party City is not the best store in the world. It's a party city. There's a bunch of stuff for your party. So he was the general manager. He was the city. He was the party of the city. You know what I'm saying? He was the big dog. So when he came around us, and his dad owned the whole Little League, owns the whole Little League, everything, the whole league itself. And he thought that since his dad was, upper, what's going to happen to me, I'm his son. Who's going to tell me wrong? So it was basically like he was watching and he knew exactly who I was. I mean, we didn't exchange words after the game, but he looked and he knew exactly who I was. And he was at every game after that because he has no life. He's a Party City manager. What the hell? What do you honestly do? What? The balloon area ran out of balloons? Huh? The streamers are out? Need more forks in aisle 3? Anyway, I'm just spouting at the mouth now. I mean, if you think about it, Party City is actually busy a lot of the time at Halloween. Anyway, it was what it was. It was what it was. It was a fun time, though. Fun times. Man, it was fun times. Now I had to figure out how to a way to wrap this up because I've pretty much been going for a goddamn hour. I just wanted to say the only reason why I'm going to be doing these is because I listen to a lot of podcasts myself. I listen to Jay and Silent Bob's podcast, which is a Kevin Smith podcast. I listen to my one of my favorite comedians, Bill Burr's podcast. It's called a Monday Morning podcast. I listen to one of my favorite comedians, Jay Moore, and his Moore Stories podcast. So, and I listen to a lot of the Opie and Anthony show on YouTube, and because I don't have Sirius XM, but I listen to a lot of them, and I felt like, I mean, this podcast world and this whole world of talking on the internet is just it's exploded. It's nuts. You can be a pretty much dead actor. You can have no good movies for a long time, but you can use the podcast in a way to still connect with your fans. And I mean, obviously, I don't have any fans or anything. And I'm not trying to hit it big with this. I'm not trying to do anything like that. I'm just trying, it seemed like such a fun thing to do, and that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing it. It's a very fun thing to do. I mean, I had fun in this whole hour, and I hope you did too. I really do, and I hope that you guys keep coming back and listening and all that. And I hope I provide the funny for you every week. I think I'm a pretty funny guy. I mean, I try. But I just want to say thank you for listening, and be sure to check out some more when they are available. So thank you guys so much for listening, if you did. And if you did like what you hear, hopefully you come back. Thank you so much. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen.